Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk a little bit about how to use a hundreds grid to show multiplication of whole numbers by decimals and also decimals by decimals. This is just a great graphic representation of what happens when we do multiplication. So if I start with a problem, a decimal by a whole number, let's say 3 times 15 hundredths, I can take a marker and shade in 15 hundredths. This grid is 10 by 10, so there's 100 squares on here. Each one is a hundredth. So what happens if I do 3 of those 15 hundredths? Here's 10 and another 5. Do the next set of 15, I can fill in these last 5 and another 10. And then I can fill in one more set of 15. And now I can see graphically that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 10 and 5 more, so it must be 45 hundredths filled in. Now this shows the students what happens when you use the standard algorithm to line up numbers like this, and then when you multiply through 5, carry the 1, 3 times 1 is 3, plus that one is 4, 2 decimal points goes there. So while this gets them the right answer, 45 hundredths, this helps them understand what's actually happening. Very similar thing for decimals multiplied by decimals. So if we have something like, let's say, 2 tenths times 3 tenths, what does that equal? Let's see if we can figure it out graphically. So on this one, we're going to shade in the first 2 tenths. And then 3 tenths, we're going to go across this way. Now what we're looking for is the area they intersect. So if I look here, areas that have both red and the yellow in them end up being these boxes right here. How many boxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hundredths, the small squares. Which makes sense because when we multiply things by less than 1, they get smaller. This again helps the students see graphically what happens when we take 3 tenths times 2 tenths. That equals 6. I know that looking at it graphically, it has to be 6 hundredths. A lot of times there would be confusion. We just make it 6 tenths. But this teaches the students one decimal place and another decimal place, so I have to move over twice. 6 hundredths. I could explain this to them in class, but it does a lot more good when they can actually see, oh yeah, 2 tenths times 3 tenths is 6 tenths. The more that they understand why the numbers work, the better off they will be when they get into subjects like algebra where they're manipulating things. They'll actually understand what's going on. hopefully you found this helpful in understanding why and how we use the hundreds grids to show decimal by decimal multiplication and whole number by decimal multiplication. Thank you.